Most people think as you get older, getting stiff and sore after workouts is normal. That recovery taking longer and longer is just part of how things work. And what that means is not only do you start missing days of workouts or fun that you had hoped to be doing, but it starts to become more and more impactful over time. But if you're a runner, a cyclist, climber, hiker, whatever activity it is that you love to do, if you want to keep doing that for the next 20 years, we have to do something different so that we're not dealing with all of that. Okay, here's what most people won't tell you about training and aging. Your body still adapts, but recovery just can't be an afterthought anymore. Some things really do change as we get older. Things like movement quality, joint mobility, tissue health, your nervous system regulation, and how your body adapts to accumulated load. But here's what hasn't changed: your capacity to get stronger, to stay mobile, and to handle hard efforts if you're intentional about it. Most active people are feeling themselves get stiffer. 2 hard days in a row used to be fine, but now it isn't. But that feeling is not proof that you're declining and that you need to slow down. It's just your body asking for something different. The people who stay active and keep going strong well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, they haven't given up what they love. They've just stopped treating recovery as optional. But knowing something needs to change and knowing exactly what to change, those are two different things. Most people are used to treating recovery as damage control. You do something hard, you get sore, so you stretch afterwards. It feels okay for a little bit, and then the next day you wake up feeling even worse. And it feels like this repeatable cycle. It happens every time. But you can break that cycle by starting to build the right type of recovery right into your training week. One of my students in her 60s who's super active, often doing multiple sports in one day, and she told me in a recent one-on-one session, "Heather, I'm not even sore between these workouts anymore." And that's what happens when you build recovery into your week. It doesn't need to be something you do right after your workout. We start to build it into your routine so your body builds a better capacity to absorb and process all the work that you're giving it. She hasn't adjusted her training to do less. In fact, a lot of times I think she's even more active than when we started to work together. And she's not doing an hour of yoga today. She's just doing short, consistent, progressive yoga sessions woven into her week. And now her body has the capacity to handle all the things she wants to do. And that's what we're looking for, not just doing a few stretches when you feel off, which never really sticks, but instead building real recovery into your plan. And that's what we're looking for, not just a few stretches you can do when you're feeling off, because that never sticks, but instead building real recovery into your plan throughout the week. If you want to see what this looks like in action, I created a 10-minute yoga reset specifically for active people like you, so you can see how it fits easily into your busy week. Pause the video and grab it below, or find it in the description when we're done. Knowing recovery needs to be built in is one thing, but knowing how to structure it so that it doesn't add a bunch of time to your week is where most people get stuck. Okay, I mentioned this before, but you don't need an hour of yoga every day. That recommendation is not meant for people like you who are already active, and that's what's keeping a lot of people from adding it into their routine. Short, strategic sessions, 10 to 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. That's enough to give your body what it needs to recover, adapt, and feel consistently good. Schedule these the same way that you plan the rest of your training. So as you're scheduling your runs or rides for the week, you're also putting your progressive yoga sessions on the plan so that it's there and you actually do it. Schedule it like a training day, not some day. Make sure your practices complement your other training. So if you're a runner, maybe you're focusing mostly on your hips and hamstrings. For climbers, it's probably a mix of upper body and lower body. For cyclists, we're gonna want to look at your back, your hips, your shoulders. Really, it depends on where you're holding tension. Your yoga practices should complement that so that you build more capacity where you need it over time. And this means you don't need a long stretching session after hard workouts. I might do a stretch or two from what's feeling a little stiff after one of those, but you're building capacity throughout the week. That recovery foundation is already done. This means we're not just adding more to your schedule. You can replace your cool down, swap out some of those stretching sessions you're already doing, and replace them with these 10 to 30 minutes strategic yoga sessions in your week when it makes the most sense. So these yoga sessions are my foundation. That's non-negotiable. But when I have a little bonus time, I'll add a little extra to my week by doing a cycle of contrast therapy. So ice bath for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll hit the dry sauna for another 10 minutes, back to the ice bath, and then finish with the hot tub. So if you've got a little extra time and you really want to maximize your recovery, that's what I would do. But the thing that does the most work is my yoga practices, 10 to 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. That's the foundation that does the real work. There's one more thing most people miss about this approach, and this is what makes it actually stick long term. When recovery becomes part of training, not something you're dreading doing, you start to actually look forward to it because your body feels really good and you actually start enjoying the classes you're doing. Now that you know that dialing back your activities is the wrong call, you probably want to know what to do instead. So click the video on the screen and I'll show you what to do next.